Hi, folks. This is my man coming to you from parts unknown. Ha ha ha. Well, we just got finished watching the last rally. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing great. As a matter of fact, I put my thumbnail up. I figured, well, what's the biggest stuff going on today? We know there's a whole lot of stuff. I could fill that little thumbnail up with all kinds of crazy pictures. I heard that they just before I started listening to the speech, I heard that with new DNA evidence, they identified who D.B. Cooper was. And they're going to announce who D.B. Cooper was. I thought, boy, things are getting crazier by the minute. But on my thumbnail, you got a picture of Fannie Willis getting eyed up from the backside by her paramour, and there's news going on with that we'll go over. I got a picture of Trump sitting in court. He made sure he got back there to be there this morning, and then a juror wasn't feeling good. Trump referenced that during his speech. He said, well, he hopes the juror feels better. But anyway, nothing for nothing, and then has to go all the way up to New Hampshire and give this speech. And then I got a picture of a razor wire getting cut by the Border Patrol. What's going on with that? SCOTUS, what did you do? I got my thumbnail says SCOTUS stuns. And they put out without a comment, really, an order to allow border agents to go into Texas and remove border razor wire. So I don't know the details, and we got to keep level-headed till we find out the details. But I do know that Amy Coney Barrett sided with the liberals, which would be Kagan and Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown, and also what's his face there, John Roberts. So it was a 5-4 split. And I think the real situation with that was they denied an emergency stay. I think they're going to let it shake out in the lower courts, and we'll just have to see what's going on with that. But anyway, let me see who's here. Diane's here. Nice to see you. Mary, Joe, Dixie, Alicia, Jersey Joe. Hi, David. David's here. Yeah, I've been watching him. Well, he was up late, He's got a lot of miles under his belt. Hi, Debbie. Marla, how you doing? There's Nikki. How you doing, Nikki? Linda. Yeah, Diane's updating the Biden regime. Well, we'll see how much that is. How you doing, Tennessee? Debbie, we got 2 Debbies. Hi, Sensen. Doug, how you doing? Sherry, nice to see you. Sissy. Alan. Gary's here. Ha ha. So, Tubala, didn't D.B. Cooper jump out of a plane? Yeah, it was stolen money. Stolen money. It's been a mystery for decades. D.B. Cooper, they claim they found through DNA evidence who he was. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's still kicking or not. How you doing, Lone Wolf? Hi, Marilyn. Larry's here. Hi, present. Hi, Lucy. So, while you're thinking about it, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you're a negative Nelly, that's fine with me. People can't agree on everything. Hi, Alan. And if I skipped anybody or missed anybody, it's not on purpose. That's all right, Doug. Better late than never. Better late than never. Well, I tell you what, he's been, he didn't mention Comey this time around. At least I don't know. You know, I got into Trump's talk when there were throwing out the first disruptor. That's what I call them, disruptors. And what Mr. T said last night, I'm sure you all caught it. He said some of them are MAGA people, but afterwards they'll say, look how much money they offered me to do this. And Trump said, well, go ahead and do it. Take their money. And that reminded me of what I was talking about with the DeSantis, Vivek, Tim Scott. You know, I said that part of it was not that they were betraying Trump. It was a golden opportunity to grow the party, show that it's not a fad, a passing fad or a cult for Trump, to show the party's diverse. But the other thing, especially with DeSantis and now possibly with Haley, is to clean their clock financially and drain the Rhino uniparty of their money and resources, okay? And all the while showing that we have a diverse party. Now, isn't that great? You know, I think it's great. So anyway, same thing with these protesters. Trump said it last night. If you heard him, he said, look at how much money they offered a MAGA person to disrupt. He said, well, they're offering that much money. Do it. Go ahead and do it. Take their money. And so, hey, I don't know how much they give them. You know, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, you know. And tonight, what we had, I counted 3 disruptors and 4 disruptions, because one girl came back. Trump told her to go home to Bobby, and about, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, she disrupted again. But I believe that was her last one. Did you all count the same thing? Let me see. Who's in here? Who's in here? Anybody sneak in here? Oh, Nick, I put my finger on that too long. Put it on the screen. How you doing, Alan? Got your name on the board and everything. Okay, I'm just making sure I didn't miss him. Anybody rolling? How many disruptors did you count? You all count. And good. I mean, all that Soros money, we'll just absorb it, you know, and strengthen the party. I was speaking of SCOTUS, I was talking last night that there was a big case coming up with them about the power of the federal government. How you doing, Em? And I didn't get much to talk about it much last night. I mean, we went almost an hour and a half, you know, but it had to do with government regulations. And the SCOTUS is going to decide when can agencies invoke things on their own. Like Vivek said, we don't have a 4th branch of government. Invoke things with the force of law. You know, Congress has been delegating their lawmaking responsibilities, but and they do it not just Congress; they do it in townships and counties, local governments. They leave it up to the staff to decide regulations in your town, code enforcement, and any kind of power grab and horse hockey. I would say something else, but I reserve those words for special occasions. But anyway, Trump brought up the same people that are affected that brought this case to SCOTUS, which is fishermen. Now, what he mentioned, of course, was fishermen that were paying $700 a day in some manner of fee the Biden administration is demanding through who knows which agency of Fish and Wildlife, or is it the EPA? I don't know. So anyway, somebody in that bureaucracy who's never been elected, who's been taught in some Marxist university to punish a fisherman. And, you know, people that come in, okay, you say we can't eat beef because of cows breaking wind and all this stuff, but you're not a vegan. Fish is healthier. You know, how much do you think your fish is going to be? And I'll tell you what they wouldn't charge. They wouldn't charge a daily fee for is harvesting bugs and grinding bugs up, make it look like a hamburger patty and feed that to people. No, you could do that all day long, I bet you. So, you know, hey, you want to support people that want to make you a bug eater, you can do it, but we're going to run over top of you, and we're going to vote to have these people thrown out, not just out of office, but out of what they think is eternal bureaucracy. Hi, Marilyn. How you doing? Island girl, how you doing? MS Motorsports, how are you? Whoa, my screen froze up. What in the world? There it jumped. There we go. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Larry. Oh, what was the statement made by Alex? Oh. Ha, 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 ha. Well, they're worried at Davos. They're worried. Freedom Rider, how you doing? They're worried at Davos. I might get some clips from that, but I noticed, where did it go? Nikki, who was it? Marilyn. Marilyn said, no, who brought it up about, there you go, Sherry said, now they want to take away our coffee. Yeah, and you going to get me started on that now. Hold on, I got to get a sip of my coffee. Take away my coffee, or make coffee out of bugs, ground up, squeeze bug juice out and then color it like coffee. Is that what we're going to do? Heat it up? Boy, that's a sick thought. But hey, that's all they have is sick thoughts. Thank you, Doug, for putting that link in there. Mike and Beverly came by this afternoon to buy me a coffee, and just before the Trump rally. And last night, early this morning, we were talking about my thumbnail. Yesterday, I had Trump as the Godfather, and I said, well, you know, it's kind of a little inside joke, and we called Aaron the Godfather because he helped so much to buy me a coffee off the ground, and he heard that Godfather thing and stopped by early in the morning in the wee hours to buy me a coffee. So I want to thank Aaron. And the inside joke was that Aaron was the Godfather, buy me a coffee. Robin was one of the founders. I call her Rockin' Robin. And I'm making Gary chairman of the board. And you take a break, Gary, from buy me a coffee because you've been helping out. I know you work hard for your money. It's a hard dollar up there working in Alaska. So anyway, but they do want to take our coffee away. And all the people I just mentioned, I thank you very much for supporting me. I've got, I can't put a link in, but you can go to buymeacoffee.com, enter Mountain Man if you want to help the channel out. But anyway, so yeah, who was that was talking about taken our coffee away. Let's see, I got a little blurb I wrote down. Let me see. How did he word it? He worded it weird. That coffee emits between 15 and 20 tons of CO2 per ton of coffee. Every time we drink coffee, we're putting CO2 in the atmosphere. What kind of idiot? This is some guy from Switzerland. He was at the World Economic Forum saying that drinking coffee puts CO2 in the atmosphere. Well, I've been over that with people and they're, so damn stupid. Let's see. When I mentioned in Congress allowing experts to interpret laws, no less than Justice Scalia said, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said that they are instituting regulations, okay, and with the force of law. The case that's before the Supreme Court right now is about the fishermen have to hire and pay for every day on the water a government minder. And they have to pay the salary of the government minder because some stupid ass bureaucrat says so. Now, the hell with those people and the hell with them for thinking that way. And we need to get them out of office and make sure they never get back in again. So, what kind of communist nonsense is that? So speaking of the communist nonsense, back to our coffee, they try to throw guilt trips on people where you can't eat a hamburger, you can't flush your toilet, you can't light your wood stove, you can't do nothing without, you're destroying the earth. Well, it's idiocy. The case is a straw man to dismantle Chevron. I don't give a damn about Chevron. We've got antitrust laws and all that stuff. We can take care of stuff like that. And I'm not getting off topic on some conspiracy with Chevron, okay? I know what Chevron is. It's a gas company. And gas companies make 4 cents every dollar on average they spend. They get 4 cents of profit, 4 cents. So hey, it's amazing that this country continues to thrive like it has. Whoops. I put Doug's up. I touch this thing sometimes. Yeah, I'm not worried about that stuff. That's right, Gary. The planet thrived because of CO2. It is a nutrient. And maybe Freedom Rider rode around for my dissertations on that. I know he was around for oil is organic, but all life on Earth is carbon-based. Read an Isaac Asimov book, the old science fiction writer from back in the 60s, 70s, Ray Bradbury. It's carbon-based. Everything living, everything organic is made out of carbon. And, here's one guy that was at the World Economic Forum. Don't take it too hard when I criticize you, Freedom. But when things are not well thought out or not scientifically based or legally based, I don't have a lot of patience for it, but we'll keep going with it. There's this geoscientist who got up at the World Economic Forum, and they don't like hearing this stuff, but the bottom line is nobody has ever proved that CO2 drives global warming. And if it could, that human emissions of CO2 drives global warming. Nobody's ever proven that. And if it could be proved, how are they going to prove that the other 97% of CO2 emissions by other than human activity. 97%. How are you going to prove that that's even doing anything to hurt the earth? So, and he's being generous by saying that human beings put out. I was going to discuss what this scientist said at Davos, because his name is Dr. Ian Plimer. Ian Plimer. They don't like hearing this stuff. Greta von Doomberg does not want to hear this stuff, but he is generously attributing 3% of carbon emissions to human activity. And he's saying, what about the other 97%? Like a bear doing you know what in the woods, okay? Every creature deals with CO2. If it's plant, they breathe it. If it's mammals, fish, reptiles, they exhale it. It's just that damn simple. I don't know how much more simple I can be. But they do want to take your coffee. But we won't let them. That's going to get everybody. Yeah, it was Aquanet. That they're talking about that was when they were doing the ozone hoax. Dismantling Chevron, letting corporations do whatever they want. I don't know nothing about that. It's about the fishermen that are being made to pay for a government minder. That's the case I'm talking about. I know what case you're talking about. And like Reagan said, how many words are in this sentence? Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. That's the 9 words that are the scariest words you ever want to hear. Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. They're a bunch of boobs and nitwits, ninnies. And, I learned that it's good when you're having a conflict with people to tell them don't act like a ninny, okay? Or don't act like a boob. You don't call them a boob or a ninny. You tell them not to act like one. And that's just a thing you train yourself to do so you don't alienate yourself with the person that you're having a conversation with, even though they may very well be a ninny or a boob, to be determined. You give them accurate information, and if they continue to be a ninny or a boob or both, then you can just disassociate yourself from them. Ian Pilmer is an Australian geologist and not a climate scientist. Okay, whatever. He knows more than these morons that are trying to make people eat bugs and tell people they can't have beef and tell people battery-operated cars. That was another thing I wanted to get into the other night again, too. You know how many people are one paycheck away from disaster? Okay? A lot of people. Well, keep that in mind. Because you know how many tens of thousands of people are going to be lucky if they can keep going after their little miracle battery-powered toy car has gone through just this past week of winter weather. There's going to be thousands of people who have basically junk for vehicles because those batteries freeze and split, and then they leak lithium, cobalt, lead, acid. They're fire hazards. They blow up. They emit gas. Let me tell you something. I don't care. I don't give a damn what you get battery out of. If you leave it outside for a couple of days or a week or whatever in below zero temperatures, single digits below freezing, where something is frozen solid. I don't give a damn what they make it out of. It's going to be cracked, split, or compromised in some fashion. And hey, they started up after they thawed out. It's going to be emitting stuff you don't want to be breathing in. It's going to be leaking stuff you don't want your dog licking off the ground or your cat. Yeah, I mean, they are so narrow-minded. Some of these rabid libs that don't take time to think. The most efficient and environmentally friendly way of transporting people is the internal combustion engine. It is the best way to harness the power, encasing it in steel, where the controlled explosion of whatever fuel you're using. A Model T could run off of alcohol, straight alcohol. It could run off of kerosene, and it could run off of gasoline. Right off the factory floor. The technology was to take a combustible fluid and harness it and control its ignition so as to generate power to propel a vehicle, a tractor, an airplane, a car. It's like trying to reinvent the wheel. No, we don't need internal combustion engines. They're dirty. They were dirty because the biggest problem they had was lead added to the gasoline and the diesel to lubricate the valves. Okay, in 1975, they started mass producing vehicles with floating valves, where you don't have to adjust your valves every 10,000 miles. You don't have to have gasoline with lead in it to lubricate your lifters and your valves. Now, I know there's people in the chats that know I'm right and know what I'm talking about. I had vehicles where I said, well, if it doesn't require a lead additive, which is not truly lead, it is a lead substitute. But I had vehicles you had to put that in there because you had to have the valves adjusted every 10,000 miles. I had a 55 Thunderbird convertible. I had a 1951 Willys four-wheel drive truck. I had a 1947 Jeep, Willys Jeep. I had a 1946 Willys Jeep. I had a 1975 Cadillac. I had a 1975 Mercedes 450 SL convertible. And on down the line, I can't even think of some of them right now. But they all needed lead. Now, once they came up with unleaded fuel and improved the technology so you didn't have to have lead to lubricate the engine, the main pollutant problem was out of the way, gone when they instituted catalytic converters. Catalytic converters, your main emission is water. So there's nothing better. There's nothing better for it. I think every home should be required to have, especially north of the Mason-Dixon line, should be required to have a fireplace or wood stove every new home in case the power company can't deliver and it's freezing out and you got to keep your family warm. If you got to break up furniture or whatever you got to do to keep your family warm. But no, we can't have that because of the environment and global warming. You know, we're tired of the chicken little nonsense with people that don't have a grasp on reality. That's right. Overeducated, like who said it? Sherry said it. I said some people were the smartest dumb people I ever met. They were really smart with diplomas and all this ciphering they could do, but they were just dumb as posts on everything else. So anyway, yeah, they're, let's see. What did Island Girl? Where's Island Girl? I'm just looking through the chats. Okay. Your brother has a hybrid 50 miles a gallon. That's good, Jerry Lee. A hybrid battery and gas, or gas and ethanol and whatever. Well, that's right. You don't want your who is going to have ride around with a leaking gas tank? I said the batteries will crack and leak. See, you're using child. That's childish now. Of course, nobody wants their damn dogs drinking gasoline. I'm talking about these battery operated cars that are blowing up and catching on fire. Why do you think that happens? Because the batteries are built so poorly and they can't handle extreme temperatures. I mean, it's endemic. They don't report on it. I put up that video where Scotty Kilmer was talking about every foggy day there's buses, public buses blowing up. Did you ever have a battery blow up on you? I have. Man, it make your ears ring. And you get, crap all over you. So there are people, what I was saying, there's people, especially up north, that are going to have a hard time recovering from this because they're not going to have the money to put new batteries in. The people that have the type of car that if the battery's dead, it's got a little gas engine, they're just going to have to ride around and haul around dead and compromised batteries, adding to the weight, and still use gas. The people that have dedicated battery-only vehicles are going to have compromised batteries that cannot fully charge anymore because of the damage from freezing, which makes them dangerous. So, hey, it's a mess. And, what are they going to dream up? I'm going to put in an insurance claim on my car. I'm going to call the manufacturer. I'm going to do this. They'll do thousands of them going to do everything they can, but to pay for their own stupidity. What happens then? We end up paying for it. Our insurance rates are going to go up. We always got to deal with the unintended consequences of these nitwits. No, that's not a nitties. Yeah, that's not a misogynistic word. Dopes. But anyway, with these disruptors. And I put her posts up before, and I told you I'll check her out. Patricia Dixon put up a picture from yesterday's rally where this guy was dressed up in a sheet and a hood, KKK. And it shows a picture of I get a screenshot of it, wrestling with security at Trump's rally. He's trying to get in there in a full-blown outfit with a hood, okay, and saying that he's for Trump. And they got him. They got him in handcuffs. I got a picture of him in handcuffs. And these people, apparently they're being talked to after the event because Trump, as he said, he was told that some of them said, hey, I didn't want to do it, but they offered me so much damn money. What was I supposed to do? So these people are being interviewed, and we're going to get to the bottom of who is financing these disruptions. And I've got a note here to pull up a post of a law that was passed, and the board, okay, the 17 board put up a post concerning the law that was passed after the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago, when all the hippies went crazy. I know a lot of people in the chats are going to know about this. And I think it was who was the mayor then? Was it Bull Connor? I don't know. But anyway, the Chicago mayor ordered the police to put a lid on these hippies were coming from all over from different states and to the 1968 Democratic National Convention. And they were handing out wood shampoos to them long hairs. I mean, bop, 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 smack, smack. And it was a big mess. I mean, the American people have not seen that kind of civil unrest. And that's what got me, where one of these guys was putting out from Chicago was saying, you thought the 68 National Convention was something. Wait till the Democrats come to Chicago this time in 2024. So I don't know what he was talking about, but it's going to be a mess. And he was anti-Democrat, radical Democrat Party. So anyway, there was a law they passed about going around from state to state with the intention of starting a riot or being disruptive, public disruptions. And I'm going to pull that post up. I made a note to pull that post up because these people, if they're coming from who knows where to New Hampshire or to Iowa and dressing up like a KKK person and pretending to support Trump to cause political disruption, I'll have to pull that post up about that statute. They could be involving themselves in felony activity if they're going interstate with the intent to incite a riot. Okay, it's a felony. So we'll see. I mean, Trump was very calm about it. Yeah, Jerry, there's hydrogen power. Yeah. There's drawbacks to hydrogen. It's a good alternative, but there's drawbacks to it. But they have the technology. They were using electric cars in the 1800s. Jay Leno's got one. It might be 1904, but back in the 1890s, they had electric cars, comfortable. They call them parlor vehicles because the wife would she'd go to town, she'd go visit in or go to a bridge game or go see her friends, and they were simple, easy to pilot, and the inside looked like your parlor. I mean, it had a couch in there and lamps, oil lamps hanging on the sides of on the inside, curtains, They were nice. So it's not like, oh, we're going to use oil because we're evil big oil. No, it's just that's the most simplest and efficient way to use it. Actually, diesel is. If they were smart, they'd have a 2-cylinder diesel. They'd sell something with a 2-cylinder diesel engine that charged your batteries or could be used as a come-home motor if you had problems with your batteries, and you could go 100 miles a gallon. Well, Freedom, see, you're talking, man, you just don't get it. Gary, here, read what Gary said. Where'd that go? Somebody put a DeWalt battery in the freezer and then try to charge it before you talk like you know. Put it in there for about two days. 2 days. Then let it thaw out. What's that going to take, a day? Or try to plug it in when it's still frozen. You're saying that if it survives, it'll lose 30% of its capacity, which is not a big deal. When it's at 100%, you can't go anywhere anyway. You've got what they call range anxiety. They come up with these terms. Oh, he's got range anxiety. No, he's worried because the dope cannot go anywhere. It's not range anxiety, it's stupidity because he bought something that won't take him where he wants to go. He's suffering from stupidity. That's right, Island Girl. Make your own clean supply. My mom used vinegar for a lot of stuff. You can catch her out here buying all this purple whatever in the world it was. Vinegar and ammonia. What's got no emissions, Jerry? When they plug into their house is being supplied by coal-powered power plants or nuclear. The electricity they're charging, or these charging stations, are run by big diesel generators to charge up a stupid electric car. Well, I'm riding around and I'm not putting out any smoke. Well, that damn generator that had to run for an hour and a half to charge your dopey battery up and using smoke. What in the world are these people thinking? I don't meant that as personal, Jerry. I'm just saying, to people that don't understand where electricity comes from. Jordan J. Let's see. What did Jordan J. Are you stink bug? Let's see. Diesel motor could be used to charge a battery while driving, like an alternating current instead of a direct current. Well, Larry, you're probably right. You probably know more about that than I do. But you could have a two-cylinder, even a one-cylinder diesel, if it's just going to run a charger, and then be able to hook it up to come home if you have a problem. Oh, MS Motorsports, you had a Toyota, Prius? It costs for the home charger is $800 plus to install another $700 just to charge at home. Yeah, and the electricity that is being fed into your house is generated through a power plant that puts out emissions. I mean, it's not like the electricity comes from Keebler elves underneath your house. That's right, Sherry. You make all kinds of stuff with vinegar and citrus items. I tell you, under the right circumstances, I'd love to have an electric car. Like Gary said, there should just don't make me drive one. In some circumstances, if I lived in a big city and I didn't have to go very far, I'd love to have an electric car. If I lived in, the Mid-South or the South and I didn't have to worry about those really tough nights, well, I'll put it in the garage and keep the battery from freezing. Well, get that garage heated. They're spending money on something. You're spending money if you got an oil furnace. You're spending money if you got electric heat or a heat pump. Heat the garage. I mean, no thinking. No thinking. So, anyway, the thing is, they're trying to drive us into a unrealistic world where you've got to spend more money and feel guilty if you don't. Feel guilty if you don't have a sticker on your car that says, earth-friendly, electric. And no, moron. Get yourself a well-tuned, modern vehicle with a catalytic converter and use organic, petroleum, oil-based products to run your vehicle, and there you have it. If you want a battery operated car, go get you one. And they'll improve over time. But hey, in 130 years, they haven't improved that much, except what? They've got Bluetooth and MP3 players in them. Well, okay. You know, sitting there trying to tell people they can't have gas lawnmowers and they can't have barbecues anymore. They can't have a fireplace. Go to hell. No, I'm trying to quote Trump. Rot in hell, okay? Rot in hell. But anyway, I was going through all the events, you know, trying to see what was going on, checking different channels, checking Telegram, checking this, checking that. Trump was supposed to show up in court, and he did today. And, you know, it was a showdown of sorts. There was some electricity there. There was going to be a confrontation. Everybody was expecting a confrontation. And the deal with that, what's her name? E. Jean Carroll. She got caught deleting evidence, okay? And that was going to be my thumbnail, the deleters, you know, the deceivers and the deleters. You got the J6 committee was deleting a bunch of garbage. Wait a minute. Whoa, my chat's froze up. Oh, well, that's a good thing you bring that up. Wait a second. Where's Elon Musk is heading a company that's one of the highest market valuations in the world. Are investors stupid? No, there is a place for electric cars. I said that. Dopey young kids who are in a car designed to look like a spaceship, and they can only go 98 miles, and then they got to sit for a day and a half and charge. If they're happy with that, fine. But don't, like Gary said, don't make me buy one. They're paid $100,000. It is a current fad, okay? And more power to them. Like people used to go out and buy pet rocks in the 1970s. How many people out of the chats remember pet rocks? Somebody painted a rock, put it in a little bamboo cage, put a Smurf wig with glue on the top of the rock to look like a head, a wig, and put two little googly eyes on it from the craft store, painted a little smile on it, and then named the rock. You could go in Kmart and buy your own pet rock. And the guy made millions. So, you know, but the thing that I'm glad you brought that up about investors, because one thing Trump has hinted at with this whole mess, Elon Musk included, and hey, it's available, so I can't fault the companies, just like the illegal immigrants coming over here. I can't fault them. If I lived in Guatemala, you know, eating stale tortillas and, you know, no rest, no bathroom, no indoor plumbing, no hope of any kind of making a living. And I heard that I would get $9,000 and my kids would go to school and I would get a home and I would get television. I would get a free phone. If I wasn't a responsible father, I'd be stupid not to do it. Okay? So it's the same thing with these cars and these people selling windmills and solar panels. They've got investors investing in their companies, sure. You know why? Because they're all getting money from our tax dollars to prop up this phony science, okay? Of course they're going to have money for research. Of course they're going to have, they're giving homeowners, get this benefit and that benefit if you go solar. Oh, you get a bunch of solar panels put on your roof, and in 3 years they're cloudy and cracking. You get leaks in your roof when they screwed the panels down, the framework for the panels to the roof. But you got a $3,000 credit, and the company that put the stuff up there gets government funding to do it. You know, it's a false economy. I've talked about that many times. Our system is infested with this fascist approach, which pushes technologies that are idiotic because the government is taking over companies, telling banks how to lend, DEI, okay, and building their own interpretation of how life should be, not a free market. Okay? Of course, investors are going to go, oh, the government is handing out grants hand over fist, tens of millions of dollars to windmill companies. Invest in a windmill company. Government's handing out billions of dollars to big pharma. Buy big pharma stock. See how that works? Is your head working? Somebody's trying to start their own business. Can't have that. Kick the hell out of them. Put a bunch of regulations on them. Who is John Galt? Bryce Cooley, you're a provocateur. You're talking ways, stupid ways, and I'm Nikki. I'll go ahead and take care of them unless you already have. You're not a nice person. Never seen you before, but you don't use terms like that and make accusations like that in my comments. So I want to get him off of, I'm sure you've done something with him. I'm going to do something on my end too. He's just a jerk. And I'm deleting all the comments. So you're out of here. See, we can have a good conversation, because if Freedom hadn't brought that up about investors, I never would have thought about that false economy that they built with these windmills that are falling over and burning up. It costs more to produce one of these giant windmills than the value of the power they'll ever produce. That is a fact. That's a fact. Now, how the hell can you justify that? The only way it works is because they have access to government money and they're printing it, okay? Oh, he's gone. Bryce Cooley was his name. I'll take a screenshot. Well, maybe I can. Let me see if. Oh, he's gone. I'll get a screenshot of his name. Whoa, I put Maryland up there by accident. I get a screenshot of his name. Hold on. Choo-choo. There, I got a screenshot. And for future reference. I don't know. You didn't see him, Nikki? Jersey Joe said no. It was Cooley. Yeah, they're not recyclable, Lori. They're dangerous. They're dangerous, and they're just rusting hunks of garbage. And the cost to produce them, they cannot generate enough electricity to justify the value. It's just not there. Typical government crap. Cut them all down. You can recycle them. It just takes too much work to sit there and take torches and metal saws and try to cut those damn things apart. But anyway, you know what? The media The media makes bank at election time. In the past, how we discussed how Florida for decades was always like 2 points apart. All these, quote, battleground states. Do you know that in past elections, by this time, if the Democrats were having a regular primary, if the Republicans were battling it out in the old way of constructed adversaries, you know, same suit, different bow tie, but they fooled us. We didn't realize that John McCain was no damn different than Barack Obama, that Barack Obama was no damn different than Mitt Romney, that Mitt Romney was no damn different than George Bush. But we're all going, hey, George Bush, my guy. Oh, I like Barack Obama. Well, yeah, same suit, different bow tie. But by this time, they would have made so much money from ratings because it's a political, it's a sport. It's like the Super Bowl. This is when they get to make their money. This is when they get to sell advertising. Okay, this is when they get their ratings way up. Well, not now. Not now. Actually, it's kind of boring. What are they resorting to for news? And they're not reporting on what we discussed with Davos. We're the geologists and not the environmental guru. Anyway, what they're reporting on, what they're resorting to, NBC puts this out. Former President Trump continues to confuse former President Biden with Obama with President Biden while on campaign trails and interviews. MSNBC, they're saying Trump is cognitively declined. That's exactly what Trump said they do. He said it in the past 3 or 4 rallies. He says Obama is the one running this country, not Biden. And they go, well, he is confusing Biden with Obama. And I said, aha, Trump got him. He caught him. They're doing it. They're doing just what he said they were doing. So I go in the comments, listen to these morons. Some guy says, he has been trapped in a mental time warp ever since Obama roasted Trump to his face at the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner with the whole room laughing at him. It shattered his ego so bigly he could never move past it. Not even a presidential term could heal it. I picked these two out of the usual, oh, he's losing his mind. Trump had, another thing, I noticed a lot of things being mentioned was saying Trump had syphilis that was getting to his brain. Where did that come from? Okay, they got bots putting that stuff out there. Then the next comment after the one I just read said, I just decided to watch the White House press dinner where Obama roasted Trump. It was even funnier this time. Trump can really deliver the funny lines. No, Obama can really deliver the funny lines watching Trump have to sit in the middle of the crowd while they are laughing at him. Was an amazing scene. Trump, the chump, had to sit there and take it from Obama. No wonder he can't get the man out of his head. Yeah, like that's an organic back-to-back comments about Obama at the press, the roast they used to have every year back in 2011. So they're trying to build a narrative using bots and clowns like the one that just came into our chats talking about Harriet Tubman and their $20 bill. Trump doesn't want to change $20 bill because it's got Andrew Jackson on there, and Andrew Jackson got rid of the central bank and the Fed. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with some guy named, what was his name, Bryce Cooley or whatever it was. So anyway, so there you see they have these little meetings, little bot meetings and little troll meetings on the internet. How can we undermine Trump? He's got syphilis. Oh, okay. He confuses Barack Obama with Joe Biden because his mind is going. Oh, he doesn't want to change a $20 bill because he's racist. You know, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about start to bloom. Okay. You know what the arguments are back is that Obama really is, and I saw the comments were close to 50-50 where people were saying, can't you see Trump is just telling it like it is, that Biden is a puppet? So it wasn't 100% in the comments. Let's see if I got any more of these, the syphilis comments, but anyway, so that was about 6 o'clock this evening. It came on YouTube. And since Freedom's talking about Elon cut 90% of Twitter's staff, and it is still working fine. Should we try that with the government next? And I say yes. Elon's on to something. He cut 90% of the Twitter staff. Remember that? All the bunch of ticks, like ticks on a dog's back. Got rid of them, and the company's fine. Same thing with the government. That's right. Harriet Tubman was packing heat. But I didn't like the terms he was using. And maybe I should have said, hey, don't be using those kind of terms. You can say if you want, and I'll treat you like the ninny you're acting like. Maybe I should have kept him around, but I don't like it when people bring up false racial accusations. I don't like it. Because Harriet Tubman and there are so many heroes of the Civil War that were black and the American Revolution that they never taught people about in schools. And we'll get into that in the future. But anyway, so this business of Trump showing up in court and all of a sudden, well, what it was the judge, this so-called judge, Trump put out a comment about him, giving him a chance, just like Engoron. And believe me, there is some meetings going on with Engoron in Letitia James's case, and then you've got this idiot. What is his name? High-level election interference. And what is the name of this judge? Well, anyway, I'll come across it. This judge with the E. Jean Carroll. So, you know, the thing is, a lot of these people in the comments, they think like Trump is sitting in one courtroom with all these charges. They don't know there are different states, different judges, different prosecutors, different civil accusations. So with E. Jean Carroll, the judge said that Trump could not tell the jury that he doesn't know the woman and thinks she's out of her mind and what happened never happened. He's barring Trump from saying that. So today, everybody was thinking, what are they going to do if Trump says that? Is he going to put Trump in jail? And some guy on MSNBC was saying, if Donald Trump violates the judge's instructions, he could be taken into custody and put in the back room for a few hours until he understands that he can't violate the judge's orders. Well, don't you know, a juror says, I felt dizzy and I think I have a fever. What do? Shut down everything. Okay, well, first they said they were going to make Trump come back today. And what? What are you talking about? He's got, or tomorrow. They said for him to come back tomorrow. That's primary day, okay? Tomorrow's a big day. Now I'm hearing that they're going to consider when to come back. Well, what made me suspicious was, how do you know this person is going to be better enough? And you're just going to make Trump come in? Oh, he's still feeling bad. You can go home now. You can go back to Florida, fly back to Florida, and then come back tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a trial tomorrow. So I said, well, that sounds, off base. But another thing they did was ordered the person who said they felt bad to take the test. You know what I mean? C-V test. C-vid test. And then ordered everybody to take the tests in the courtroom. Now, I doubt they made Mr. T take any stupid, idiotic tests, but they're relying on that old hat excuse, that cop-out. And Trump put out the statement. Now, at the rally tonight, he said he felt bad for the jury, hope he feels better. But he said, I traveled late last night from the great state of New Hampshire to New York to attend one of many crooked Joe Biden-inspired witch hunt trials. Despite the fact that I was there on time and on schedule, it was just learned that one of the jurors is, unfortunately, not feeling well. And for that reason, today's session of the trial, having to do with a woman I know absolutely nothing about, has therefore been canceled with a new date to be determined. Now, remember what I said earlier was that they wanted him to come back tomorrow during New Hampshire primary. Somebody set somebody straight, okay? So they're going to determine the date. Of course, all these various, quote, Biden political opponent trials just happen to be starting with great purpose in the middle of what will be the most important election in the history of our country. They could have all began years ago or years after, but certainly not, capital letters, during the election. In actuality, they should have never been brought at all, because I have done nothing wrong. It is what it is, and I will do what I have to do. All I ask for is fair judges and juries. Whoa, I'm going to make sure I don't drop off. My sound doesn't go out if I stay off too long. He says, if I have fair judges and juries, I will win every one of them. And wait a minute. Page 2. These are political scams designed for high-level election interference. The good news is the people of our country understand better than anyone that, including crooked Joe Biden, make America great again. So, E. Jean Carroll got put in a trick box by Elena Haba about her deleting those emails. And she's calling for mistrial. Boom. You have this juror, I don't feel good. Okay, I don't know. You had this expectation of a showdown where Judge, well, one thing, he kept interrupting Alina Habba. Okay, he was interjecting himself in the questioning. Well, be careful what you say, or be careful what you ask. And he's telling the defendant how to testify. He's got past statements where he's extremely prejudiced. Okay. And who knows if he wasn't going down to Capistrano. If you listened to my broadcast last night, you know what I mean. Okay. So every expectation that Trump was going to say, just like he told him, the same judge, when the judge said, "You'll never learn," Trump said, "You'll never learn." And before that, he said, I'll throw you out. Judge Trump said, "I'd love it. I'd love it. Throw me out. I'd love it." Now, today, Trump was going to testify. Was he going to put up with that arrogant, unlawful direction by the judge to not state his innocence in front of the jury? Was E.G. and Carroll going to have, or was the case going to have to be thrown out by the motion by Alina Habba about her deleting, where she said she had threats made against her, but she deleted them during the trial? Oh, I'm a juror. I'm sick. I feel bad. I can't make it in. Okay, maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. But I'd be watching the money. Okay. So anyway, we'll see, the point to be determined. But tomorrow's the big day. We'll see if Nikki Haley's going to hang in there, and I'll talk about it more tomorrow. I'm going to go live tomorrow, usual bat time. If Trump's speaking, we all need to watch that. I put timber in my thumbnail. Let me go over that real quick. A lot of people in the chats know about the Kennedy family putting out a couple of years ago, okay, a video where all the young people of the Kennedy family were singing, "It's going down, I'm calling timber." And that George W. Bush, H.W. Bush Sr., his Secret Service code name was Timber. And a lot of people, like, hey, something's going to happen. Well, Trump used the term timber in yesterday's rally. And I didn't get into that yesterday. But I can tell you that I remember back in the 1970s, I heard that term, management timber. I'll tell that story one day. But Trump was doing the same thing. He was saying he didn't think that Nikki Haley was presidential timber. So it's a term used. But I'll tell you what, if you listen to it again, and this doesn't mean anything, it's just a little something I'm pointing out. I've talked about Trump's New York dialect, okay? There are different dialects, as we all know, for different regions of the country, different ways of enunciating words, or even changing how you say one letter. The word can mean something else. So what did I do? I got out my handy dandy copyrighted Merriam-Webster. It's got a whole bunch of dates in there. The first date, I think, is 1953, but it was reissued. This one is 1962. I have it in my hands. I know a lot of y'all are probably in the cradle. Who knows what you're doing in 62? And some of you probably weren't even around here, right? Freedom. But anyway, so I noticed when Trump was when he mentioned the word presidential timbre, he pronounced it, and if you can double check me, he pronounced it Timbre, timbre. Did you ever hear that term, folks? Timbre, timbre, not timbre, timbre. Did anybody else catch that? He pronounced it Timbre. Now, I'm not saying he's not giving a signal that they're going down, but it's a pronunciation, all right? But it's also a different spelling. Alan Girl says musical sound, timbre. Well, timbre is, I'll read it right out of here, a wooden structure to join together, build a building material, wood suitable for building, houses, ships, etc., whether cut or in the form of trees, you know, on and on it goes. And it goes finally at the end, it says a warning about a lumberman that a cut tree is about to fall. Okay, that's timbre. Timbre, Timbre, and re-listen to Trump and you'll hear that's how I pronounce it. The characteristic or quality of sound that distinguishes one voice or musical instrument from another. It is determined by the harmonics of the sound, and it is distinguished from the intensity and pitch. In phonetics, the degree of resonance in a voiced sound, specifically of a vowel. So I think LT put it up there where he's saying about Nikki being presidential timbre. I know that when it was said to me back in the 70s, it was timbre. Okay. But there's a difference. Make of it what you will. I'm not trying to come up with something new or discredit anything. I'm just pointing out things that I noticed. And hey, if I noticed it and I got these things, these old books in my hands I've had for so many years, I might as well use them, right? So let me just check the chats. What the? Oh, Jazzy Mo says this country's never going to heal with him. You still with us, Jazzy Mo? If you are, pop in the chats. Let me know if you're still with me, because I want to respond to you. Jassy Mo. Give him a Diet Coke and tell him he can. Well, I'm not sure what kind of stuff you put in the chats. Let me see. At this point, I'm thinking we will just tell Trump we want to put him in the. Oh, okay. Are you still with us, Jesse Mo? You're being a clown. I want to see if you can dish it out. Let's see if you can take it. That's right, Gitmo bound. Where you at, Jesse Mo? Anyway, Trump is a genius. He's got more energy than 50 Bidens. He's been all over the Eastern Seaboard dealing with these phony accusations and going to rallies, hitting the nail on the head. And whether you want to believe it or not, he is also overseeing this dismantling of the old guard political system that is going to get exposed and torn down. Oh, Jazzy, he's Marilyn, you say he's gone? The guy I'm talking, where you at? Show yourself. What was his name? Show yourself. Didn't use no cuss words. You didn't make any, you just making little comical jokes. That's fine, but let's see if you can take it. Where you at, Jazzy Mo? I got something to tell you, just between you and me. They haven't passed a budget in forever. Do you missed all that? I thought we went over that last night, Freedom Rider. What are all the news agencies talking about? They avoid Trump. They don't talk about him. Like I said, these primaries, they used to make big money. What they're all talking about is Trump, according to them, confused Nikki with Nancy, as in who was responsible for security at the Capitol. They wouldn't even be talking about it. A critical person with critical thinking, worrying about what's best for this country, would say Trump was saying that X, okay, like in algebra. Okay, what is X? What is X? X is the person who was responsible for security at the Capitol. Namely, it wasn't Trump. It's just like when he said Covfefe. Covfefe. Everybody going, ah, ha, ha, ha. He misspelled coffee. Covfefe means I will stand. And that's when people in the know knew that he got a sword dance from Saudi Arabia. So that's, I just talked about how they're trying that, they're trying to say Trump had syphilis. They're trying to say Trump was racist because he wouldn't take Andrew Jackson off the 20. Why should he? Why should he? Make it some other denomination for Harriet Tubman. And they're trying to say he has syphilis. They're trying to dream up all this stuff. And Trump plays them. He plays them. He'll misspeak something. You know what? So more people will watch his speeches and they'll think, oh, good, I get to catch him. Like I watch Joe Biden just to look at him going, or flopping around, fall off the stage. Yeah. Biden does it all the time. What do you mean I'd be apoplectic? Haven't you watched any of his babbling compilations of Biden where he can't find his way off the stage? I showed one where Barack Obama just snubbed him. You see plenty of clips of Biden sniffing little girls and stuff. What are you talking about? You got people laughing at you. As I've said, don't act like a ninny. He was up till past 10 o'clock at night, giving an hour and how long was it? Over an hour, and the night before was an hour and a half long speeches. He engages with the press. He gave a press conference yesterday, impromptu, about DeSantis bowing out. The motorcade pulled over. He got out, went to a campaign headquarters. They didn't even know he was coming. He stood there for 15 minutes talking off the top of his head, got in the vehicles, went to the main rally, spoke for an hour and a half, dealt with a couple of paid hecklers, didn't skip a beat. And you're This is what you're saying? Are you listening to what you're saying? T does the same thing. Be fair and reasonable. Didn't you hear? Now, this is one of those things, Freedom. When we first met, I told you not to type while I was talking to you because you can't understand what I'm saying while you're typing a bunch of horse shit in the comments. Multitasking is a good way to do multiple things poorly. You think you can listen to what I'm saying while you enter your nonsense in the chats. What did I just say? And I'm not going to sit here and waste my time explaining to you that Trump went all up and down the East Coast giving hours-long talks with people in news conferences and being in court and testifying in court, dealing with judges, all this kind of stuff, and Biden can't even make it across the floor. And there's no denying that. So what if he said Nikki instead of Nancy? Out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of words and hours and hours and hours of him getting up and talking. And it's just like he says, I don't need this crap. I could be living the high life. I'm doing it for my country. And it's awful damn petty when you watch somebody go for hours and hours, making intelligent points, giving the American people hope that their borders are going to be secured, that their jobs are going to be secured, that their access to energy and national resources are going to be secured. They're not going to be made to eat bugs, okay? He does it day after day after day after day, that their children are not going to be psychologically assaulted by mentally unstable people being financed and paid for by the federal government. Okay? That's what this boils down to. He's doing all this. And after all the times you've been in the chats, you're going to tell me you're going to have the nerve to say he's in mental decline because he said Nikki instead of Nancy? And as I said last night, they're both dried up old ninnies. Who gives a damn? But they're putting his statement that somebody was in charge of the Capitol and let down the people by allowing that staged so-called insurrection. What that was a political provocation, staged provocateurs, okay? And that's what he got done. And you know, we're not getting anywhere with you. You've got a mentality, or you're exhibiting. I'm not saying you have. You're exhibiting the mentality of a 12-year-old by responding to something so petty. After I just explained to you the historic level of personal communications that Trump has been having with the American people and the press, international leaders, every damn day. Biden can't go to the Vatican without losing his bowels. He can't go to a dinner party at Westminster Abbey without breaking wind. And that's been reported in the press. It happened. Tons of gaffes. Yeah. It's just like Brian Stelter. Donald Trump has lied 24,000 times. Yeah, right. Tell us two lies. Tell us two. There are tons of gaffes. Tell me two. Tell me two, Freedom. The two that are worth a pinch of owl crap. It's like I've told people in other chats, you couldn't shine the man's shoes, okay? He's accomplished. He's successful. He's a genius. He's proven it over and over again. And the American people love him, and people around the world love him. And when there's an honest counting of the votes, a fair counting of the votes, you're going to see just how pitiful a minority that you belong to, and how you have fallen for a mainstream media that preys upon people who have trapped their emotions in a little box called TDS. Okay? You're doing yourself a disservice. You're showing yourself to be not overly bright. That's what my grandmother used to say. He's not over bright. Yes, he did jet lag. He dutied his trousers in front of the Pope. That's a good way to put it. Had to change his pants. The Italian press reported on it. You ask the average Italian about Joe Biden, they're going to say, yeah, he pooped himself. Yeah, tell us 5 gaps we can verify here. We'll be waiting. Save them for tomorrow, because I've gone over an hour and a half. That's right. Mr. T is saving the country and the rest of the world. Why is that? If America falls, the world falls. To any liberals that tune in, okay, now I don't even want to say liberals, all right? To any people who are suffering from T and then D and their other letters S, I got friends that are liberals, but they're not crazy. They're not ignorant. They're smart. But they're the Hubert Humphrey type of liberal, the John F. Kennedy type of liberal. If you all want to eat bugs, if you all want to ride around in unreliable battery-operated cars that are poisonous to the environment and that have to be charged using coal and gas, okay? If you want to freeze your ass off in the winter, go do it. Just leave me alone. Leave all of us alone. You're stupid, okay? Go be stupid by yourself. Debbie, I'm having a discussion. I'm feeding everybody. Because if I wasn't arguing freedom, I'd already closed out the broadcast, which I'll go ahead and do. I don't like being told who I can talk to and who I can't. That's happened before in my chats, and I don't put up with it. If I want to talk to a post, I'll talk to a post. He's not confusing Barack Hussein Obama and Biden. He said it in his speech. He said, I'll sit there and say that Obama's running the country. And the crooked news, the fake news, will run around and say that I'm confusing Obama with Biden. I'm not. He says, who's really running the country is Obama. And that's a fact. And you buy right into it. That Trump's sitting around saying, Barack Obama pooped his pants in front of the Pope. No, he never said that. He knows Biden pooped his pants in front of the Pope. But he knows Obama is running the country, and it's his way of letting Americans know who is the puppet master. I'm glad you brought that up. That's right. Obama's calling the shots. But I tell you, it's a modus operandi that's being uncovered, and we'll talk about it in upcoming broadcasts. It's just like when Bill Clinton met with Loretta Lynch on the tarmac. That's not forgotten. Remember that, folks. How prior administrations will influence future administrations, how they interact. One hand washes the other. They bribe each other, okay? They grease each other's wheels, all right? And they all go in the same goal of the grand puppet master, okay? And Obama, he's got strings that get pulled, okay? He's a puppet. Obama's a puppet, but he is Biden's puppet master. And I'm not going to sit there and get a clip where Trump says, the fake news is so corrupt that when I say Obama is running the Biden White House, they claim that I'm confusing Biden with Obama. That's how corrupt they are. And then you repeat it. Hi, Roberto. Now, let me ask you this, Freedom Rider. Let me ask you this. Conspiracy theory, you nitwit. I just told you, you big dummy, you dumb dummy. I just told you it's not a conspiracy theory. Trump said every time I say Obama is running the White House, and he's been saying it all year. He's been saying it all year. Oh, we know who's really calling the shots. We know who's really running the show. It's Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Did you not hear it? You don't listen to Trump, do you? You could learn something. I tell you what, this country is so blessed to have someone who cares about this country so much, that is so intelligent and patient. Because you know what? I'm sitting there thinking, well, the stuff they've done to him, stuff we can go over in the future, where a couple of his private helicopters got sabotaged, where Ivanka Trump almost got injured. She was in one that crashed on the bank of the Hudson River, where they found a bullet hole in Mar-a-Lago. Okay? It takes a lot of love and affection and appreciation for this country to not lash out the way he could. He could pull an Abraham Lincoln and shut these corrupt newspapers and news outlets down. He could do that. And he didn't. He's trying to unify this country through success. Because that's his name. Barack Hussein Obama. I didn't name him. That's on his fake birth certificate. He went by the name Barry Soweto. He had 2 or 3 different social security numbers. I've already been through that with you. Are you drinking? Do you drink too much, Freedom? Is that it? Or do you sit there, get too smoked up? Are you sitting there with a lot of blue smoke hanging around your head? No, he said his age, Gary. I know his age, and he shouldn't do that. Don't give out personal information in the future, Freedom. But he's old enough to know better. I think, if you got a drinking problem, or if you just use that kind of smoke that makes you all dopey and tired, or I don't know. There's something going on where you don't listen. But anyway, we wasted enough time with what vapid. Look that word up, VAPID. Insults toward Trump. Nikki, yeah, I know you are. Ha ha ha. Yeah, he's all smoked up or something, Doug. Single songwriter. Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali. Barry Soweto also changed his name when he changed his religion. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, Barry Soweto. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. This is my longest broadcast in a long time. So we're calling tonight. Hey, tomorrow's a big day. If you know anybody that lives in New Hampshire, call them up and say, you better get your backside out there and vote for Trump. And they're pulling out all the stops. They're getting the Democrats to go out there and pretend they're Republicans and vote for Nikki Haley. Trump is still going to crush them, but everybody's got to show up. All right, folks? That's right, Tubala. You better read that, Freedom. Better read what Tubala says. Better read what everybody says. All right. You all have a great night. Quit looking at your belly button, certain people, and pay attention to what's going on. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night, the good Lord willing. Y'all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.